Welcome to Chicago Sports Vlogs. Oh my gosh, what a crazy sport weekend. When you talk about Trubisky going down to Joe Madden and the Cubs going their separate ways, obviously we were aware of that. And to go and have Joe Madden fall on the sword for this one, more falls on, I think, Theo Epstein and the Cubs office. They plan to get better players for this year and to fix their issues. Yes, they got Castellanos for that trade. And yes, he was a good player. You had the issue with several of the other players getting injured. Also, you had Chris Bryant, they got hurt. You had Bias got hurt, and Rizzo got hurt. And because of that, the Cubs didn't even make it. It was worse than last year. Last year, they lost to the Brewers, the last game of the year. And the Brewers went all the way to the NLCS last year and lost to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers obviously lost. So, okay. So we got that done. Well, I look at it as this. That's tip to Joe Madden. He gave the Cubs a 109-year party, which means that the Cubs finally won the World Series back in 2016. In fact, I was in Chicago from October 15th to November 3rd that year and missed Game 7 2 days before flying back here to South Florida. My brother was a pilot. If I knew that, I would have stayed and probably went to the flipping parade. Okay, so here's the issue with the Cubs. The Cubs are going to trade Bryant, which that was a rumor. They're going to get rid of Javi Bias. They're going to trade even Scherber. They're going to trade Lester. We don't know that. We don't even know who's going to be the new general manager. There's a rumor that's going to be Ross, the Cubs' old all-star favorite batter, not batter, but a catcher that won 2 World Series with the Red Sox and 1 with the Cubs. Is he going to be the new general manager? Is it Girardi? We don't know. Who knows? It might even be Isaac Guillen. I'm going to bet my money on Ross. That's my money. So we talked about that, right? Okay, so the bigger news is, oh my gosh, the Chicago Bears had issues with Trubisky getting hurt. His best game for this year was last Monday night, Monday Night Football. I mean, did he have a perfect game last Monday night? No. Do the Minnesota Vikings tend to get away with calls with Mitch Trubisky? Yes. Happened last year when he had his shoulder injury in that Sunday Night Football game, and he missed 2 games. He came back, played the Rams. He was awful that game. I think he threw 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions when the Bears just walloped the Rams on defense, not on offense. It took Santa Slay, I remember they passed it, I think it was to Ted Larson for a touchdown. So you got that issue. Now Trubisky got hurt, no call on that. Those ticky-tack calls on Eddie Jackson was ridiculous. That's crazy. He got headbutted. Now, granted, he shouldn't go after the guy, but come on, man. And also, where the heck are these stupid calls that mix nothing? Even freaking Khalil Mack got a call. Holding our offensive holding, our defensive holding was ridiculous. And that's supposed to hold on defense. I don't understand that. It should be another name for that call. So that was ridiculous. The other thing was ridiculous is, in a good way, how Daniel played as the backup quarterback. And granted, he did this to us last year. In the Thanksgiving game, Trubisky wasn't playing, and we barely beat the Lions. The next game, he coughed up the ball. The New York Giant linebacker took it to the house. I remember I was grocery shopping that day. It was crazy. I got home. I was really pissed that we lost in overtime. It was Tariq Cohen that threw the touchdown to tie the game, if I vaguely remember. So the issue is, Trubisky's really that injured? We don't know. I'd like to know. According to Adam Schefter, who's an ESPN communist and Twitter god, he says that Trubisky doesn't need surgery. It's a minor tear. and he'll be able to play against the Saints and should be able, doesn't mean he's going to play, but should be able to travel with the team to London. The other thing that's pretty cool is in jolly old London. I got a pick to show you that one. On top of it, the Bears dominated against the Vikings. We had no Hicks. We had no Smith. We had Kwiatkowski that came and did it right. Kwiatkowski did it correct. He had like a sack, a forced fumble. Kwiatkowski was really great hitting. He knocked out the running back so hard. I've had the running back got injured. You had Khalil Mack all over the field. You had all of these players that was not supposed to play as backups came up and played on offense and defense. Big shout out to Weems. Weems stepped up for Turbo Gabriel being injured. Gabriel got a concussion in last Monday Night Football game. And Weems had, I think it was 6 catches for like 64 yards. He was second behind Robinson. Allen Robinson was a beast. Even Adam Shaheen showed up. Burton showed up. Cohen showed up for a touchdown. Even our rookie running back did pretty good. Montgomery, he is not used as much, but he did good. Eddie Pinero did great. This is the best I've seen Pat O'Donnell play. Granted, I wouldn't want to be tackled by him, although he might be the punt. He's really good. So you have that. How long do I expect Trubisky to be hurt? I'm not a doctor. My guess, he'll be back. He might even play at London against the Raiders. So you want my quick early pick? I picked that Khalil Mack will have more than 4 sacks in this game. Quote me on that. He'll have between 3 to 4 sacks against his old team, the Raiders. He's pissed. He's inspired to play. That means the defense will play. That means the Bears will score on the Raiders. Granted, it might be a silly option pass. Daniel has to play smart. I predict the Bears are going to run the ball. They're going to do tight end sets. And they're going to do receiver curls. They're going to get chunk yards and chunk yards. Play by play until they get a touchdown. And I predict the Bears will win, 23, 24, let's say 24-10. I say the Raiders would score a touchdown in late, just like the Minnesota Vikings did. It's going to be a similar game. Then from there, the Bears have a bye. That means Trubisky will be able to play. So pray that Trubisky will be able to play at home against the Saints with a backup quarterback and the Bears defense waiting to gnaw on the Saints. Trust me on that. So we have that. The Bears are going to go 4-1 in a bye and have Trubisky back against the Saints. Okay? So we have that. So we have the Bears talk. We have the Cubs talk. Let's talk about the Bulls. I was watching it, or hearing, not watching, but hearing on ESPN Chicago that Derrick Rose refused to jump on a plane and talk to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. He said he's not the guy to go and convince Wade and James to be a Bull. This is back in 2010. Granted, that was 9 years ago. That was crazy talk. This same thing happened with the Bulls office when they wouldn't trade. I think it was Lil Deng in the mix for Kobe Bryant. In fact, I think the Bulls were going to keep Derrick Rose and trade a couple other players besides Deng. I'm trying to remember the other player. I could see his face. He played for the Detroit Pistons. It just slipped my mind. He wasn't. Ben Gordon. So they're going to trade Ben Gordon and Deng for Kobe Bryant and like a first-round pick. The Bulls wouldn't do it. This is the same Bulls offense that screwed up and wouldn't get certain players. Come on, man. This sucks. As a Bulls fan, it sucks. You know, granted, the problem having the GOAT on your team, that we've had Michael Jordan for many years, nobody wants to challenge his legacy. That's the issue, okay? So we have that. And we have the Blackhawks. I don't even know if they're going to be even pretty good this year. I doubt it. The White Sox, they have some good players, but that's it. So really the only team that's in major sports, not even the Fire's good, the major sports in Chicago, which is baseball, basketball, football, soccer, and hockey, the only team that is worthy to talk about is our beloved Chicago Bears, which the Bears are better in defense this year than they were in 85 in 4 games. In fact, the 85 Bears had 16 sacks. The 2019 Bears have 17 sacks. It's pretty comparable, but according to what I have here, I'm going to post it after this so you can see it, and I'll post it before. In fact, it'll probably be my photo on the thumbnail so you can see that the Chicago Bears defense in 4 games are better than 1985 Chicago Bears defense. That's amazing. So, okay, I will predict this. Okay? I will predict that Khalil Mack will be the MVP, the defense MVP for the NFL this year. I will also predict that the Chicago Bears will win the NFC North and get their revenge game up in Cheesehead Land, up in freaking Wisconsin where hell is. The Bears will beat the crap out of the Green Bay Packers and put Rodgers in his misery. I predict that. Cousins will lose. We will sweep the Lions like we always will. Well, granted, it'll be hard. And guess what, you guys? We will not just beat the Rams. We will also beat the Rams, the Packers, as well as the Chiefs. There you go. We will beat all of those teams. And I predict the Chicago Bears will have the 1 seed or the 2nd seed in the NFL. I also predict, too, that this is going to be crazy. The Mitch Trubisky will get out of his slump and will break the 28 touchdown record that I think it was Kramer that threw, I want to say 1999 when the Bears had the best offense. Back then, they had Kramer, they had, who else did they had as running back? They had Neil Anderson. Yeah, I think they had Neil Anderson then. But anyways, I predict the Bears will be better and that Trubisky will throw more than 28 touchdowns. Granted, he threw 3, so that means he has 25 to go, and he's going to miss a couple games, but he'll catch up. He might be able to get that in the playoffs, but I predict that Mitch Trubisky will be a Pro Bowler quarterback. I know, I can't believe I said that. And he wasn't that bad compared to last year. In fact, I think it was last week against the Bucks, he threw 6 touchdowns, and that game was crazy. So it wasn't for Trubisky getting hurt last year. He would have broken that record for sure. He would have thrown like 30. So for this one, I'm going to say 30 touchdowns. He's not going to rush much because they're going to be worried about that shoulder. I see he'll run twice, maybe, at the most. So that's my crazy prediction, and what a crazy Chicago sports field. We got Joe Madden leaving the Cubs. The Cubs might be trading their players. The Bulls marking on what happened with Derrick Rose, as well as trying to host the 2020 All-Star Game in Chicago next year for the next game year league, as well as hopefully that we will have a Bull player or 2 in the All-Star Game. I'm going to say Adam Levine, and I'm going to say Markkanen. So that's my prediction. And the Bulls, okay, you want an early prediction? They'll make the playoffs. Probably be a 7th or 8th seed. They'll probably get swept or something like that. So there's that. So like, subscribe, and you Bears fans, bear down.